Those who oppose me shall embrace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am such a noob. I cannot believe I hit that button, Shane. It's the 3-week rust, man. I don't know. I haven't been around forever, so
it happens.
Yeah, I feel really bad. So we tried to get into Murlocs Inc. versus Tempest. They just started like literally 1 minute ago. ESV Tempest up against their guys. They just started, which means we're gonna jump quickly into Tempo Storm versus Peppers O'Brien, and they're actually already done their drafts. So I'm just gonna really quickly go up as they're. I don't know what they're arguing about, but whatever. It's a great time for us.
They're arguing about my name.
Super legit things. Please tell us what is going on, Mr. Sean.
This is Tempo Storm versus Peppers O'Brien. I don't know why I want to say that with my awful Irish accent. I guess it's because it says O'Brien.
Yeah.
I know absolutely nothing about Peppers O'Brien, but obviously Tempo Storm is a very well-known team. And it's, guess what, guys? It's Asmodon time. Hooray! It's time for the basketball. Where the Michael Jordans, they are on Arthalon. We'll go over the draft once we get in the game.
Yeah, I'm just putting it on screen here.
Yes. So
why have we not started? They were so gung-ho about starting, and now we haven't started.
We're good to go, guys.
They're arguing about who we are, which I find amazing that people still don't actually know who I am, let alone you.
I don't know. It's okay, man.
That is a FourCourt douchebag to say.
You know who I am. I'm very important, you say. Yes.
I get recognized every 5 games, guys. Clearly, I'm important.
The draft for Peppers O'Brien is one of many patches ago, I would say. We'll get into it now that the game is loading up here. But it looks like Tempo Storm is going to be playing, once again, that Asmodon strat, where they go with, I don't remember the name of the talent, but every time that you kill someone with his Q, you kill a minion with a Q, it increases the permanent damage by 2. And obviously, there's definitely an exponential factor in there, as the faster you get the damage going, the faster you can clear waves. The faster you can clear waves, the more damage you get. So that there's definitely that factor to take into consideration. So in the early game, it's not the best, but once he ramps it up to a point where he can clear waves almost in one of his basketballs, especially once he gets at the level 10 talent that amplifies the damage he does while he stands in it, it just can do a absolutely insane amount of damage. I've seen some replays of it in scrims that were that was just absolutely silly, man. It was absolutely silly, the amount of damage that it was being put out. And we're going to see it once again. Asmodon, not only does he get that damage buildup, but also Asmodon is a great hero. The Q, his basketball, is a great tool at poking any heroes trying to channel the tribute. So that's another strength that's specific to this map that Asmodon is going to have. We're going to go over the draft in its entirety once we get into the match here. But we saw Arthas and Anubarak on Peppers O'Brien.
Yeah, which are having trouble here loading. So
yeah, it looks like someone might have disconnected. We're having that good old load bar frozen right at the 1/3 mark. But yeah, Arthas and Anubarak. I have not seen Arthas at all since this patch. I think the only time we see Anubarak is over in Europe. I don't think I've seen him in North America in quite some time.
I don't even think was changed this patch.
No.
Other than I think there was some.
Yeah, his Locust.
So there was some talent tree stuff.
And his Locusts do a little bit more damage, which obviously if you saw that video on Reddit about the Blizz dev interview, which is quite hilarious. The Locust damage was increased for the level 1 talent. Nothing too huge. And again, Rewind obviously was kind of the linchpin of that hero, and it was taken away, which is why we didn't see him, if at all, ever in the North American scene. But he now has it again, but it doesn't get it until level 20. So it's definitely not as optimal as it once was. This loading bar doesn't feel like moving, so I have a feeling someone might possibly disconnected. We're going to see who it is. But
nope, it's Shane Gutcher. I'm out.
I know, yeah, nope. Yeah, they were discussing, is his name Sean? Is it Shane? I don't know. What's his name? Does he cast? I don't know. I'm like, guys, just go in the game. There we go. We're going into the match finally.
It's weirder that Anubarak was Arthas was the second last pick for Peppers O'Brien, and then Anubarak was the last pick of Peppers O'Brien. I mean, they have Vala. That's it. It's Vala and Tassadar to do the damage, a double tank frontline, and the now squishy Brightwing to support all of it. I mean, if you look at Tempo Storm, they got all these top tier heroes. They got Nazebo, they got Rhaegar, Uther for the supports. We talked about the strength of the Asmodon that we're about to see, but the Rhaegar, Uther, Illidan. I mean, you talked about that last game, Shane.
That's right. I think we're going to see a lot more Illidan play, just because of the shift that is currently happening in the meta with the new patch that's still kind of ongoing because the patch has only been out for barely a week. And I've just, I feel like me personally, I've talked to some people who think Illidan is a top hero. And it looks like KP Tristan disconnected the Vala player for Pepper's O'Brien, but thankfully, okay, he's back. So it is all good, baby, as Biggie Smalls would say. So let's go ahead and introduce these teams. A team that doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to do anyways here. On the left side of your map in blue, Soldier is going to be playing the Uther, KO on Witch Doctor, Arthalon on the Fat Man Asmodon, Glarong playing Illidan, and Dreadnought on Rhaegar. The gates are down. The game is underway. This is a best of one between these two teams. Tempo Storm on your right. And who do we have on the right side of the map, Sean?
Yeah, the right-hand side is going to be the newcomers, the Pepper's O'Brien, as I'm going to contribute my own terrible accent to that. Lord Longsack, KP Tristan, Candymancer, which is the best name ever. Taffy,
That laugh at Taffy.
and Tie Beast 2000. So again, the draft's a little bit different than what we're typically used to, and a tri-lane mid with, well, the party lane is usually reserved for bottom here on the Cursed Hollow because there is a boss for the blue side. So blue side, we usually go party lane bottom. That means we'll also, counter that with our party lane from red, or they'll push into the top. Never seen a tri-lane mid.
One thing I want to talk about going to the draft is I feel like Tempo Storm is going to use Asmodon as their tank, as their damage choker, because they don't have a...
They got Illidan. They got Uther.
Classic. They don't have a classic warrior tank like an ETC or anything like
Illidan
that.
is going to far outlive anything in this case.
But usually when you see this strat run, they put Asmodon in a dual lane, maybe a tri-lane, but usually they put him in a dual lane situation with another hero who has good wave clear. Generally, it seemed like a multi-shot Vala or a Tassadar. Right now, they don't really have a hero that has optimal wave clear. And you're seeing that right now as Arthalon is just kind of roaming up and down, soaking up what he can with his Q. He's got 10 bonus damage already. But it's much more optimal when you do have someone with really effective wave clear, like a multi-shot Vala, like a Tassadar, something along that nature. But that's something they don't have right now. So the ramp up of damage on Arthalon's Q is not going to be as fast as we saw it in the past. But I think nonetheless, it's definitely going to be an effective tool. The later this game goes, it's just exponentially the more damage that ability is going to do. Bottom lane, the push is already a really strong push as Witch Doctor and Uther are taking that tower down already. They have level 4. So looking good for Tempo Storm already, Sean.
Now, it's called Taste for Blood, the level 1 talent that we've been talking about. Globe of Annihilation impact permanently increase its damage by 2. And, Arthalon, he's been going up and down. He's getting, the Q into the mid. He's getting the Q into the top. Dreadnought is actually a fantastic pick to go as a laning partner because early on, Lightning Shield, it's not enough to actually clear out the lane. And look at this. Dreadnought throws down the Lightning Shield, and he gets him so low, and you come in with that Globe, and you get so much extra damage as you see Arthas drop into this bottom lane. 2-on-1. I mean, finally, the cavalry is here, which is usually, again, why you put 3 people bottom lane. But, it's way too late. Tower's down, gate down, the tribute's already going to be bottom. We're in position here for Tempo Storm, and they've almost have themselves a 1-level lead here at the 2:47 mark.
So first blood going to Arthas. He just got caught in a zombie wall and was just taking so much harassment damage from the Witch Doctor. He's ended up getting picked off. Looking at the Lich King player's build, it looks like he's going into a Frostmourne build. Again, Lich King, the Arthas, got nerfed significantly. And it's the biggest reason why we haven't seen him much at all. This is the first time I've seen him since the patch. And we're going to see these unorthodox builds on the hero that is definitely not as strong as he used to be. Going to see how it plays out. Going with the Eternal Hunger at level 1, which increases the mana regeneration on his Frostmourne Hunger. And the Destruction trait, which increases the damage bonus to 150%. So that's going to be a big burst for him. I don't know what the game plan is with this Arthas and with this build, what their kind of focus and tactics are with it. But obviously we're going to see as the game goes on. Looking over here at Arthalon, how is he doing on those stacks right now? He's up to 60 already. He is already up to 60 damage at the 4-minute mark. So he is on a very good track to just doing massive amounts of AoE damage. Second tribute is here right in the top hemisphere of the map on Pepper's O'Brien's side of the map. And we're going to see if they choose to commit hard to getting this or if they're just going to continue to soak.
Basically, every toss, we're getting between 1 and 5 times 2 extra damage on top of those Qs. coming out from Arthlon. So, and you know, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Glaurung, I believe, has the immolation. He does. So the level 4 there coming out big. He just leaves them all with low hit points. The same with the lightning shield. But now we do have this tribute now here. Arthlon's just been dunking down KP Tristan as much as he can. They're really going hard on top of Tybeast, but Tybeast is taking it really, really well.
Wow.
A lot of healing coming out from his team, but the dunk is actually going to miss, and it will be a Nubarak to fall instead. But it's not going to be a kill quite yet here for Peppers O'Brien, as they're still looking for that number 1. Arthlon really, really healthy. The double support really playing into Tempo Storm's favor here for this earlier game. And I think that we are finally going to be pushed on back here as Candymancer gets stunned out way too far away. But there it goes. Yeah, it will be the second tribute now to Tempo. And again, the rotations are pretty godlike. The first tribute came in, and Illidan went top. They immediately get this one. Arthlon goes top. He figures that out. We're now going to be going back to soaking the lanes. We're going to be looking at 10 for the third.
Yes, so Tempo Storm is in probably the best position one team can be in at this phase of the match, where you're going to have the heroics well before the enemy team. You have gotten both of the tributes at this stage of the map, or at this stage of the game, rather. Bottom lane is already pushed in, so the lane which your boss is in is already susceptible to just getting pushed in because of that. The enemy team, aka Team Heroes Fight, or I'm sorry, not Team Heroes Fight, good lord. Peppers O'Brien, they have done next to no damage in this top lane, so just Arthlon has just been roaming from mid lane to top lane, using his Q to push the waves in, get that permanent damage from it. And it's self-evident the damage that's done.
Already?
Look at that. Absolutely insane. And that's in combination with the Blackpool.
Okay, no, sorry.
It's still absurd.
He now has enough damage to one-shot Archer minions.
Yes.
And he's actually well on his way to almost one-shotting Soldier minions.
Yes. That's what I mean with what I was talking about, that exponential factor, that the sooner he gets to that point where he can one-shot waves, then it's just all of a sudden just that line, that graph. After you're just looking at a graph, the moment he hits the ability to one-shot waves, that line is just going to completely spike to a
because now
ridiculous
you're guaranteed
level.
6 for
Exactly.
every time. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just not, this is not looking good at all for Peppers O'Brien. Tempo Storm is being Tempo Storm, and just with precision, they're picking them apart with precision is what I was trying to say. There are too many P's, alliteration
Surgeons.
Yes, is what they're doing, and it's I don't know what Peppers O'Brien can do right now to get themselves back in this game, at least at this stage of the game. They do have the heroics, so that's one thing going for them. They went ahead and went with the Locust Swarm on a Nubarak, Link kill for Brightwing, Arthas going with the Army of the Dead, so no Syndragosa shenanigans. That's one thing I was thinking. I was like, are they going to do some weird Syndragosa strat? But nope, that is not going to come to pass this game, Sean.
Yeah, but in terms of like team fights, there's only been 2 kills now on the board. And in 7 minutes, 2 kills. It doesn't really feel like a Tempo Storm game, but they don't exactly have like the big ganking comp. They don't have a big team fighting comp. They're literally just here to support the Illidan for the fights and support the Arthlon until he becomes a god late game. And so far, it's working out really well. They got themselves the curse. They got themselves now that boss. They pushed out the bottom fort, and now I don't think Peppers O'Brien knows that it's a very common tactic to go for the double boss. And here comes the
So the Gravitas Spirit is already used. It didn't do that much damage, but Glaurung is in the thick of it. Metamorphosis was used. The Nubarak is in the front lines. He's so very low. He's actually managed to get in the back. The Locust Swarm was used with almost no effect. Unfortunately, Vala disconnected it once again, and Treachery Killing being used on Glaurung, keeping him alive, and he has just been so consistent in this team fight with that sustained chase from Illidan, backed up with Arthlon's Q. Tempo Storm is taking a very convincing team fight. They got the boss bottom lane, who is already knocking down these tier 2 towers bottom lane. Passadar, rip Passadar, rip Vala, showing the strength of this Asmodon strat and why they started running it. And I haven't really seen another team adapt to this strat other than Tempo Storm. And we're obviously starting to see how strong it is, man. Now, I know that Peppers O'Brien isn't the strongest team right now. They're obviously getting, I mean, no other way to put it here. They're getting outclassed right now by Tempo Storm, but I really want to see if another team tries to adapt this strategy and maybe apply their take on it and see if any other teams can be as successful as Tempo Storm has with it. This top heap's going to be dead to rights. Nubarak is in the bottom lane cleaning up that. Only did a little bit of damage to the bottom lane, but the objective is this top heap. Soldier going in there with the Divine Storm. Tybeast 2000. Just Y2K for him as he's going to get blown up. Passadar Brightwing has to retreat back to their base, and Tempo Storm is just walking all over Peppers O'Brien right now.
Yeah, and we do have almost 2 talent tiers now coming up. If this is going to be a level 16 to 12, then there's really not much that Peppers can actually do about this. It is the worst position to be in, and the only thing you can do better than this is when you're 17 to 9. But still, they can take a lot away from this game. They gave a lot of the power heroes away to Tempo Storm. I'm not entirely too sure who was the first pick, but as we saw in the draft, I mean, they started out strong with the Nazebo, and then they got themselves the double core. I mean, if you'd been looking at a lot of the more recent tournaments, you would have said, all right, well, they're going to go Illidan immediately. Do we have an Illidan player? It would have been really good to pick that out of that, so that we might have actually forced into a Kerrigan instead. But it was basically the dream draft going forward for Tempo, and they were able to seize control of it. We do got that 2 talent tier advantage now. And coming up, March of Sin, Blood for Blood, Double Bloods, and Earthgrass. Earthgrass was actually changed in the patch. It's no longer that root, but a 90% slow. And it's actually the same, the Chen barrel, not Chen barrel, the Chen pinpoint root. Got the, they got the same treatment. So it's a tough position. I mean, it's been 4 up, 4 down here for the tributes, and we're already down a keep here at the 10-minute mark. And, one more big boss push, one more curse, and this game is basically done. And the problem that Peppers has is because they're so far down, they're too afraid to push out because they don't have any map control, and that's leading into even more of a snowball here from Tempo.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, and just this Asmodon has gone completely unpunished, and he's just up to ridiculous levels to the point where I don't know what they can do to contest Asmodon's damage now, because it does so much damage that they have to stay spread out. Because obviously it's a significant AoE ability. But they stay spread out, and they're positioned on optimal for team fights. And while speaking of not being spread out, Ravenous Spirit is absolutely tearing up this Arthas. Bala goes down, Right Wing goes down. They are just falling over like bowling pins right now, Sean. Good lord, Cassidar's the lone survivor. He's popping Archon, but that's not going to do much. That's just going to delay the inevitable as Arthalon goes in with the dunk. Is it the shoes? Getting dunked on like that, I think he should consider retirement. Arthalon going in there, down to the bottom keep, screw the keep. They're going to get the core. Tempo Storm is just absolutely dominating this game.
Yeah, the old SMG that take the path of least resistance. We got the black tool there for Arthalon. His channel is just doing nuts damage. We got GGs coming out for Peppers O'Brien. But again, there's definitely a very big difference in the draft. Last team fight, though, I mean, KO picks, I don't know why I said Faye, picks out the Nazebo, gets off the Ravenous, and you have really good tools to deal with that with Anubarak, but Anubarak literally just waddled up to her, tried to get off anything, but didn't, and he just ended up dying after a full Ravenous and just wrecked 2 of the teammates there on Peppers O'Brien. So there's definitely some room for improvement. Trying to be nice about it. They also had this huge stigma going up against Team Tempo Storm, probably the best or highest regarded team in North American Heroes. So I mean, did we see this coming? Probably, but Peppers O'Brien, hopefully they can take home that experience and really come out as a better team for it.
Tempo Storm has really found something special with this Asmodon strat. The last time we saw an Asmodon strat, it was from Tempo Storm. Back then, they were known as Symbiote Gaming. And it was probably the single most toxic, unfun strategy that has ever been developed in Heroes of the Storm so far with Avatar Asmodon. I remember I was playing pub games with Dreadnought. It was just him and I duo queuing. And he was like, bro, just play Asmodon. I'm going to play Avatar. We're going to win our games. I'm like, what are you talking about? That sounds stupid.
2v5.
Like,
2v5, brother. Yeah.
It was absurd. But Tempo Storm, once again, is onto something with Asmodon, but something that's a little bit more fun to watch. And I mean, I want to say they've only lost once with it. It was on Dragonshire. The first time we saw it was on Blackheart's Bay. They kept it exclusive to Blackheart's Bay. The reason being that what you do in the early game, obviously with that talent that ramps up your damage, is you want to be, there's 2 conditions that you want to have for the Asmodon strat to be optimal. One is that you have 2 lanes that are close together. Obviously, Cursed Hollow, not so much, but Blackheart's Bay and Dragonshire. The top 2 lanes in Blackheart's Bay and Dragonshire, all the lanes are symmetrically close to each other. So that way Asmodon can bounce between lanes and double soak and get double benefit for that talent, and have a hero on your team that has a decent wave clear, so that way you can just have one ability used on a wave that gets the creep down to a low enough HP to where Asmodon can kill them with 1Q, so he gets the most optimal amount of damage out of it. And it just, like I said, once he hits level 10 and once he hits that spike where he's able to clear waves in 1Q, it just takes off from there. It's all downhill right there, man. And the damage is so absurd. And if teams don't find a response to this and don't find a way to punish that Asmodon pick in the early game, it can be something that really Tempo Storm can just run away with. And that's what they've been doing. They've been running away with this Asmodon strat. And I'm looking forward to see if they pull it out again deeper into this tournament.
It's hard to do anything about something that can attack literally 2 screens away and has the exact same health scaling as a Diablo. It's a little hard to deal with that, my friends. So what kind of counters will come out? Well, maybe Blizzard will step in and say, yeah, this wasn't intended, but who knows?
Yeah.
Until then, viable strat will be viable strat, and Tempo Storm will be moving on here for Cup 11 of the Go4Heroes Americas. We don't actually have any of the other games finished up. I'm looking at the brackets. Yeah, it's exactly the same as what we talked about before.
I'm pretty sure we can do what a game I want to do is I want to look at Team Heroes Hype versus Tempo Storm,
which is very likely what we're going to be jumping into. Yep,
sounds good to me. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, if anything does change, of course we will. And I'm not going to hit the turn off the stream button this time. I
Stop
swear.
recording.
I swear
record.
to God.
It's the one below that one.
So enjoy some Heroes B-roll. I know the Lost Vikings videos made it into the playlist. And when we return, guys, Tempo Storm and Team Hero Hype with FourCourtJester. See you soon.
Mighty Keyboard Warrior.